What does it say? Okay. Good morning. Happy Tuesday of week 2. And I did a little pre-project. It doesn't look like much, but this is going to be birch trees when we get done with this. And we're going to make birds sitting in our birch trees. I think it'll be really beautiful. So a couple things about art. It's more about the process than the product. So this project is really great to do as a family, all different. I've got friends that have kids that are 2, 4, 8, and 9 up there that would be able to do this. It's something that you can start before a snack, go have a snack and come back to it. And it's something that they could do and repeat again later. And maybe this summer want to do art outside, they could do something like this outside. A little too cold to do art outside today, so we're going to do this up in the treehouse loft. So I wanted to just run through a couple things. It's kind of nice to have music on in the background when you're doing art. Because I'm doing this on Facebook, won't allow me to share music in the background. But this is a great CD. It's called The Most Relaxing Classical Music in the Universe. I don't know about that. To build your child's brain. But it's got some really nice, relaxing classical music. And sometimes it's just fine. You don't need to talk to do art. I got my markers out. Any markers will do. I'm not an affiliate of Amazon or anything, so this is just what I have lying around up in my loft. Glue. I have these little trays. You can get six in a package at the dollar store, and it's kind of nice because then you don't feel bad if you don't clean them out right away. Sometimes if you don't clean them out and the paint dries in the bottom, you can actually just go like that. It's not working today, but you can just peel the paint out to clean it, which is fun. I'm using acrylic paint, but poster paint, watercolors, anything are fine. And any paintbrushes and water are fine as well. And we'll talk about paintbrush etiquette another time. I'll make sure I have that resource for you, probably on my Facebook page. This video will be posted on the We Hearts Facebook page later on today. So I have just regular printer paper for some of these projects. I also have a little heavier watercolor paper, and Walmart and places will have these paper pads, these beautiful paper pads on sale, really uber cheap. So you could let the children share one pad of colorful textured paper, or they can each choose their own to use and then trade it later on. This one was just $6, and they're normally like 20 at Joann's. So I just wanted to show you, if you didn't see my earlier live feed or earlier video, I just took basic black paint and a basic paintbrush, and I just made swoopy lines of different depths and different dryness of brush across a piece of paper. And that doesn't look like much now, but it's part of a project, and it's easier to use later on if you have it already done. If you have super littles, you might want to do this ahead of time, and your big kids can do it as we go along. I wanted to share with you, if you watched my music live feed yesterday, you might recognize these birds as our rhythm birds. I got this pattern for birds. I'm not even sure where I got this. I got it a while ago. But I wanted to, don't be afraid of doing things like letting your kids use cookie cutters to trace around. Especially the plastic cookie cutters, they have kind of a ledge. So if you turn that ledge and put the ledge of the cookie cutter down on the paper and let them trace around it, that's a great way for them to have some simple shapes to color and to cut around. And, you're right there with them and you have the time, so letting them use scissors right now is a good thing. Another thing that you can do, and especially if your older ones want something to do later on, have them make different patterns on the bird cutouts, and then they can color them in later, and send them outside to find some branches, and you can make a whole bird mobile. just to kind of brighten things up and brighten up the playroom or an entranceway or something like that. Another couple more projects that I wanted to share were this is a pattern for a hummingbird that I found, and this is a pattern I found for a bird that you can cut this out and use it as a tracer, again on that fancy paper. And this slit is for these different wings. So you can cut these out maybe on a little heavier cardboard, or maybe, look in your recycling bin. Cereal boxes, great thing to use and reuse. And I said this is my hummingbird. Junk mail. Find some junk mail. Have them either paint the junk mail or just cut shapes out of the junk mail. But use what you have around the house, definitely, and you'll be really surprised what they'll find. Now, if you can't find paint, not a problem. Any kind of markers. If you have Crayola markers, which I have in my house, markers, you can use markers, and then what's kind of cool about some markers, especially the Crayolas, and Jamie, I'm not sure if you're getting good. So you can draw, and we are going to be drawing designs today for our birds. What can happen is if you use especially Crayola markers, the markers can act like paint if you put water on them and let them sit for a little bit. So you can kind of see that it's already turning green. And I've already colored my tabletop. So markers can actually act like paint. So it's kind of fun too. So let's get back to these birch trees and these birds. I already started making the one pattern. So the first thing you'll want to do after you make your birch tree design is we're going to put our birch trees on a beautiful blue background and make it look like our birds are floating through the air. So I'll show you a couple different ways you can make your birds. I'm going to choose a piece of colored paper first. And I think I'm going to make... Ooh, that's kind of a pretty color. I think I'll make a bird this color because it's just kind of a strange color, salmon color. Now, here's what's really easy to do when you make a bird. It's going to blow your mind how easy it is to make a bird. I'm going to make a sloppy letter D. So here's the stick of my letter D. And here's the big part of my letter D. And then I'm going to make a beak. And then I'm going to make a big triangle tail on my letter D. That's pretty easy to do, right? So then what I'm going to do is cut my bird out. This is something my older friends could probably do on their own. But mom and dad might want to help the littles. Or big brothers and big sisters can get involved and help their younger siblings. Might just cut this way. Look, I have a bird shape. Now your littles, if you have littles, and when I say littles, I mean your preschool and kindergarten aged littles. Obviously your bird needs an eye. You could draw just a simple dot. You can draw an eyebrow. You can draw eyelashes. His beaks always have two parts to them, so you want to make sure his beak has, his beak can open and close, or he won't really look like a bird. And then you're going to want to put a V. I'm looking at it upside down, so it's looking kind of weird for me. Because he does need another wing. I'm not sure I drew that wing backwards. And then make it just a heart with 3 bumps instead of 2. And then you can put some stripes out here. The pattern on my paper, you could emphasize, I have a pattern on that paper, so I could emphasize that. There's triangles on this paper, so you can have triangle feathers. Oops. It's art. I always tell kids there's no wrong answers in art. This is just an idea to keep them occupied. Craziest looking bird you've ever seen. It's a Sesame Street bird. Or a Dr. Seuss bird. You want to tie in Dr. Seuss, which is kind of fun. Let's see what yellow looks like on this paper. Oh, that's kind of cool. I'll color in the triangles with the yellow. Let's color in the whole wing with the yellow. I don't like how that tail is that weird white spot. I'm going to cut that white part off. But that's basically how we're going to make our birds today. And our birds are going to go in our trees once we get our trees done. So maybe not as big a D as I use, but that's just a sample of one way to make your bird. And an easy way to make a bird. And I think what I'll do is, I'm going to do some painting. This is where, or you know what if one thing you can do is if you're going to use printer paper, is fold it in half. And fold it in half again. Because next time you draw your D bird, they'll come out nice and small, so they'll fit a little nicer on your trees. Again, for your littles, you have them make designs, and I'll show you different designs you can make, just to give you some ideas. And draw circles. Make some circles go off the page. And I'm going to make some wavy lines on this section. So basically those folds that you made turn into kind of an imaginary border. And do stripes. I don't want all of them to match like this though. For your older ones, you could have them draw the initials. Like my initial is the letter S, and I kind of make it a little funky like that to kind of stretch it out. You could use stickers to decorate each quadrant for your birds. Uh-oh, I made a Christmas bird. It's green and red so far. I'll have to add some purple in there. What? No Christmas song. I'm gonna turn the paper this way. Oh, there we go. I'm gonna make some Kandinsky art. Kandinsky is the artist that you see with all the circles in his paintings. I really hope you guys are enjoying all these projects that we're doing. I'm hoping you're doing them along with me, or you're watching them and then sharing them with your family members. Art can be such a stress relief. during these times. And because there's no wrong answer, there's no added pressure. It's just a matter of, maybe like I said during music class yesterday, maybe just putting a basket of art things together and saying, okay, well, why don't we go see what you can make or see what you can create today? I'll use orange next, I think. And it's something that every age can do. And you might actually, you don't have to be an artist. When I used to do choir, people would say, oh, I can't carry a tune in a bucket. And I got a D in art in high school. But did you know that Walt Disney was actually fired from a newspaper job because he had no good ideas? Sometimes we just think so far outside the box that people can't figure out what we're thinking. And boredom is a great driver of creativity. I know that sounds weird, but if you think about it, you hear people talking about, when I was little, we had sticks to play with. Well, why did you play with sticks? It was it was something that was there, and it basically brought out your creativity. And so don't think you have to be an artist. I mean, I just showed you how you can use just the basic shapes of the letter of the alphabet to make things. And older students can be a great resource. I was telling a parent on one of the groups yesterday that have them do a tutorial. They're very tech savvy nowadays. Have them do tutorials for younger students. If they're in band, they can keep their skills sharp and maybe help a younger band student by putting something online. Hey guys, let's do a video where we all play the school song at a certain time, and post that online. Or something like that. You never know. Oh, tissue paper is another thing you can use. I think I'm going to use what purple will add into your... These are going to be some very crazy looking birds. I probably should do some with paint now, but I'm getting kind of fixated on using these markers. Which is kind of fun. I know some parents that are copying worksheets for their kids off the internet, and I think that's great. But don't forget to let them have downtime too. I was listening to a pediatrician, and she was talking about 3 things besides just school type activities that parents need to remind themselves to offer their children. And she used the letters PDF. Playtime, downtime, and family time. I was like, that's a really good way to remember. Playtime, downtime, family time. And these activities can be, what I'm doing online here, can be any or all of that. Some of my friends have doodle journals. I think that's cool. That's kind of what I'm doing right now, is doodling. Okay, so I've doodled on that one enough. How about we doodle some art? Some paint. And I got some really springy colored paints out. But what am I going to do first? I'm going to go ahead and put this in quarters. So let's squirt out some yellow here. A little blob of yellow. Ooh, good thing I'm doing this. My paints are starting to separate a little bit. And yeah, I'll throw some copper on there. Why not, right? It's art. And I have this pretty kind of periwinkle blue color. I think it's kind of springy looking. It'll stand out against that, especially if I have other colors around it. I think it'll work out. It just went and made funny noises, which will make your kids giggle hysterically. And there's a pretty seafoam green. And kind of a muted rose petal light magenta is what they're calling it. I call it pink. What do I know? Yeah, I guess I can try some orange in there too. This would be great, a great project for you to make something for Grandma and Grandpa for Easter, since we all have to we're going to be missing each other over the Easter holidays. And maybe you can share this video and FaceTime with Grandma and Grandpa while you make art. Any paintbrush. This just happens to be one of my good paintbrushes. I wanted to show you the water on my marker has started to dry. And you can kind of see it almost looks like a little tie-dye effect for your big kids. So, I don't know how much black paint. There we go. Alright. So anyway, you're going to basically do the same thing on the paper that you were doing with the marker over there. And just paint your designs. Kind of doodling again. This is why I wanted to put music on in the background. That kind of looks like bird feathers. Looks like I'm making Big Bird. And I'm not even going to bother washing my brush off. I'm just going to go ahead and use another color. I think that'll be kind of fun. Check that out. That is kind of fun. Let's see. I'll go the same way on this one, and then I'll change directions on the other one. I'm using a really big brush, so this is getting done a lot quicker than your little ones might do it. So don't be alarmed if I go really fast. Ready? Dot, 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 dot. Yes, I'm laughing because I think that's funny. I'm going to put my markers away for a second, though. Hey, Jamie, does anyone put any comments or anything on there?
Someone hopes to try it with their granddaughter.
Oh, good. Let's try orange. Where's our orange gonna go? Let's make orange go this way. And we'll do some oranges in the swirlies. Imagine what these are gonna look like with the birds. This is gonna be cool. I'm gonna cut the bird shapes out, the D's out of them. Oh, great. You got me singing Christmas songs. Yeah, he's looking very proud of himself over there. All right, dots. That would be my son Jamie, my videographer over there. This is getting kind of... I'm going to wash my brush. I have some really cool poems to remember with your kids for washing the brushes. I just can't remember them right now.
Only for 20 seconds, though.
I'm going to get that pretty blue in there. I think it's really pretty. Kind of gives a nice contrast. Are you happy now? I'm singing I Am Old Kris Kringle.
Very. Yeah,
I can't decide which one is my favorite one now, because this is all just, you're all really kind of turning out kind of pretty.
It's this one.
Shavy's got his favorite, he's telling us over here. And... yeah, well, art's messy, what can I say? And...
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Duh, copyright. Quick, stop singing.
Right? Facebook might say, "Oh no, I hear music on there. They will have to mute it."
Ah, yes, the copyright system. So much is wrong with it.
Just political views expressed by my cameraman may not be the Ooh, that made kind of a muddy yucky. Actually, it looks like a little bit of a sunset, which is kind of cool. Okay.
Mr. Sandman.
You need sound effects. Okay, I've not used the copper color yet.
I like copper.
I do too. I love copper. Just this one alone, I could spend hours working on this pattern because I love that kind of pattern where you just keep finding little nooks and crannies to push the brush.
Sadness.
I used to watch an art show on TV on PBS, not Bob Ross, a different was this little German or Austrian guy or something, and he'd say, "Fire the color in there, push the paint." Like, okay, boing, doing, doing. I didn't have any paint though. I was doing art with him along using crayons, which was really a little aggravating when he would blend things for me. It's like, I can't blend my crayons. Then, when I got older and I was teaching someplace, it might have been with my friend, when I was working for my friend Diane, we had to go to a after school training thing, and for after school teachers. Maybe it wasn't Diane. And it was actually a representative from Crayola Corporation telling us about Crayola crayons and so forth. So I think I have my four designs have covered my paper, and I'm gonna let that sit and dry. And I would suggest you probably should do the same because I'm sure your little has had so much fun. So those are my 4 different birdie designs. But in an effort to save time, I'm gonna go back over here and use these. These are not my favorite. I'm totally digging what I did with the paint. So, we have our birch tree. And then have my background. So let's start. We're going to put it all together. What time is it? Oh, that's about right timing. The timing's just about right. So here's my birch tree paper. I'm going to move my paints out of the way. And I'm just going to cut it into about 1-inch strips. You're not going to use all of them for the same paper, for the same picture. So by doing the entire paper like this, you kind of give yourself an options as far as and it's okay if your little is just learning to use scissors and it comes out kind of looking like this. That's fine too, because nature doesn't do straight lines generally. That's a manifestation of humanity. But if you kind of look at these, you can kind of pick out which ones kind of look like a birch tree. I kind of like these. These, I think, are my top 3 that look like a birch tree. What do you think, Jay? Like those 3? Okay, so I'm going to take my background, and the first thing you're going to want to do is put your child's name and the date. I'm just going to write name. Is it A backwards or is it right?
It's right.
Okay. All those years of teaching kindergarten and preschool. And then you're going to want to put the date. There you go. And then turn it over on the back because you don't want what you need to pollute their work. But you can also tell them that all great artists have their name and a date on their art. If you go to art galleries, you'll see that. So what I'm going to do is, because this is a picture of, if you imagine looking far in the distance, kind of up in the tree a little bit, what this would look like. So you'll put, and you need to kind of show your littles. And if you're watching with my little friends, we're going to put our trees on there upside down. I know. You can't see your handiwork. But, okay. So, couple ways to help you remember how to use glue. Well, first I'm going to make sure this one's going to work. Yes. Okay. Dot, dot, not a lot. JV's like, wait a minute. I remember hearing that when I was
Getting flashbacks from when I was a kid.
Well, I wonder where you went to preschool.
I don't know.
There we go.
In some
Dot,
random person's
dot,
basement.
not a lot. Oops, see, I got it too much.
There's too much there. Don't do that.
This is the non-example. Dot, dot, not a lot. Or my other poem is a little dabble do ya.
Yabba dabba doo.
That way it doesn't have to be a dot. Because some children are very literal. And then flip them back over.
Patrick.
And now you know why you kind of want it to dry a little bit first. And I'm using paper, my background paper is bigger than the paper I used to make my trees. And that's okay, because you could, if you don't like it, if that bothers you, which it's probably going to bother me, you know, you can trim the top and the bottom off after you get your birds on there.
Or you can add grass to the bottom.
You could add grass to the bottom. We could probably cut some, we could make some green grass, like in the style of Eric Carle. You could paint green grass. Or you could use construction paper and cut green grass out. You can use some patterned paper and have them practice making snips and put that at the bottom. Those are great ideas. Well, just like we did with our, now let's put our trees back up out of the way. And we're going to draw our D birds. Now, this, I'm going to use this, but I really want to use this.
I don't think you can use that one. Yeah.
This has got some dry areas on it, but yeah. Or I could use both. Wait, what if I do this? This one's got some dry spots over in this section, so I'm just going to cut this section out.
She's going off script. We've gone crazy.
Well, I kind of want to show like how you could use both kinds. I think I'm going to use this
I like the
this pattern.
stripes.
For my D. Okay, but since I'm using the marker, I'm going to fold it back up. Kind of going to do an old teacher trick.
Ah, yes. I remember that.
Now, if you make a different, if you make one, you know, you could use this as a pattern, but it's a little big because we didn't put it on this paper. So we're going to draw our letter D. Wait a minute, that looks like a sloppy D. I know, isn't that neat how you could make a bird using a sloppy D? And then remember, this side isn't going to be showing. It's just there to give you a tracer. So I'm going to stick this right in there. Ha ha ha. Now you can cut it from there. Your older kids, again, if your kids are very confident with scissors, go ahead and cut their own bird out. If they're one of your littler grandkids, you could cut this out while they're doing snack. You could let them watch and have, while they're using scissors, you use scissors. It's a great way to model. There are 162,000 different posts about how to teach kids how to use scissors. And there's almost that many for how to teach tying your shoe too. So yeah, go with what you got. And now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different birds. And 5 different styles of birds. So I'm not going to use that one, I don't think, because it's not as fascinating to me. And this one doesn't have as many colors. But you could do 2 of these. You know, we have extra trees, so I could do extra birds. Or you could, you know, just put this on the blue paper. You could put them on popsicle sticks and make little puppets out of them. The kids could fly around with them. But my birds, I need beaks. My bird can't eat. I'll put a little dot there. And I'm going to make a beautiful, beautiful bird eye. Looks, my bird has eyelashes. And where did my tracer bird go? Where did my tracer bird go? Oh, there she is. And the direction her beak goes is the way my heart goes for her wing. Okay, so we need to put this bird in a tree. One of my trees is not sticking very well with my paper, so I'm going to give it a little more zhuzh on the glue here.
But that's a lot.
It is a little bit on the lot side. And I'm just going to randomly put my bird sitting in that tree. And again, dot, dot, not a lot. Especially if you're using printer paper. Look, there's a little, almost looks like a branch sticking out my bird can sit in. So yeah, so you can just go through and add details. And actually, I think I might paint the detail on some of these. Simply because, oh, you know what? What if I do the water on this one? I'm not thrilled with how this one came out, so I'm going to water this one. Oh, my water was dirty. That's okay. I want to let that water sit a little bit and mush all my colors together. This one I'm going to add a little yellow to this crazy fellow. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my beak. And this one gets an eyebrow. And I just painted it, so I'm not going to put another wing on it. I might have to let this one guy dry. And again. I like having music when I'm doing art. If not, I provide it myself.
See? Perfect. We don't need music.
We'll just make our own until Facebook shuts us down.
Don't say that. They might actually.
Right. So, this one I'm gluing on first, and then adding my beak and my pretty little eye and my 3-bump heart wing. So there's my birds up in birch trees. Kind of wish they had a different blue background, but I still think it's kind of fun. And it's a great representation. And it's a great way to just use doodling. You know, have them just use their imagination. Birds don't always have to look like birds. Sometimes it's just fun to express yourself. And when you do a project like this that's multi-step like this, it kind of gives a focus on the processes that go into this product. Just the simple, you know, gluing things on and using scissors, those are all really important skills. But at the same time, sometimes making the paint, like I said, I could get lost in doing some of these designs on a canvas later on, or, you know, just exploring with color. So this is our project and our product for today. Tomorrow we'll be doing Tinker Lab. We're going to actually make some birdhouses, and we're going to make a Cheerio bird feeder. So yeah, I'll just show you kind of some different ways that you can make it so that birds have places to live. And I hope I inspired you to do some fun art projects. Like I said, use your cookie cutters as tracers. Believe it or not, when I was teaching kindergarten, I would have kids that didn't know how to trace, which sounds counterintuitive to doing art, but it's a basic skill because it reinforces basic pencil skills. And like I said, after you're done making a bunch of birds, maybe they can be birds of peace, and we all just need some peace sometimes. So I hope you had a good time today. I know I talked a lot, so hopefully next time we will have a little quieter time together. And if you are one of our littler friends and one of our wee hearts, I hope you had fun. I hope you have fun today. Have a great day, everyone.